Hey, what's up, everyone? This is a new basketball channel where most of my focus is going to be on the Rockets, the roster, rumors, and any news that I can possibly comment on, and then also discuss small market teams because national media almost never covers them. And by proxy, a lot of YouTube creators also leave them out of their videos since they're not as popular and they don't generate a lot of views for the algorithm. I'm a huge Rockets fan. I started watching in the 2013-14 season, and yes, my first taste of playoff defeat was brutal. To illustrate why I felt my heart break in a brutal fashion, I'll let Dame Dollar show you why. Motherfucker.
Houston, 9/10 left. A 3 wins the series. It's Lillard. He got the shot off. Lillard, good! And the Blazers win the series.
Yeah, so I think that was enough of an explanation. It was crazy seeing Harden blossom into arguably the most elite scorer of the game. Sure, a lot of people saw problems with how he baited fouls, which is fair, but being savvy and knowing how someone is going to defend you also takes skill. Not to mention, he also had insane true shooting percentages, which made him only more lethal when defenders began to sag off of him in fear of fouling him. Harden became my favorite player in all of the NBA. He was our Iron Man. It felt like he was always playing through injuries, especially in the playoffs. The fact that he even took these teams to the playoffs was insane. I remember the 14-15 season, Dwight, who was our second best player and really the only other offensive creator for us, which is funny because he has more babies than post moves, went down for half of the season. And we were stuck plugging in players like Kostas Papanikolaou. Woo! Damn, how many of you remember him? I remember he had a few games where I was genuinely impressed, but then he quickly fizzled out and was doomed to the end of the bench. Now, I know you probably won't remember these names, like Tarek Black and Joey fucking Dorsey. Dude, these were the plugs for Dwight, and goddamn, my hat's off to Harden for somehow dragging these guys to the playoffs. For some insight, Tarek Black averaged 4.9 points, 4.7 rebounds, and half an assist a game. And not to outdo himself, we also have Joey Dorsey, who averaged 4 rebounds, half an assist, and half a block, and 2.7 points. He almost matched his points per game with his goddamn fouls per game, which was 2.3. Oh, and this guy almost played 70 freaking games in the regular season. And started, yes, I repeat, started for 17 of those. Oh, and do you guys also remember this handsome fella who had his fair share of cheeky plays? Anyone who comments his name and gets it right wins an all-expense-paid trip to the internet. Fair to say, some of these games when Harden wasn't doing everything, we were getting spanked. This was the first year we got thumped by the Warriors, and it was just a beginning, unfortunately for us. Stupid sexy Curry. But we did manage to single-handedly ruin the reputation of a different franchise before we got humiliated. I'm looking at you, Clippers, and then only to basically rob their best player after the fact in the following years. Yeah, I miss those days, man. And now, after the Harden era, it looks like we're in for a quick rebuild. In literally 3 years, we already have an awesome-looking young core, with Jalen being the face, KPJ, who seems just as gifted at scoring as Jalen in the backcourt, Alperen Sengun, who just had himself one hell of a summer playing overseas, and not to mention he has the passing ability of a point guard with the body of a solid power forward. Then you get into the pieces we picked up this draft to plug up a lot of holes we have defensively. Tari Eason, who while in the summer league looked like a beast, son. And then we snagged the projected number 1 pick in Jabari Smith Jr., who has the best defense of any top prospect. I can already imagine the crazy lineups we have both to clamp down in defense and to spark up some offense. It's up to our coach, Steven Silas, to show our sophomores that he can grow as a coach, because if they go another year with the same plays being run and at the same time some awkward lineups, then he might lose some of them in the locker room. I don't think that's the case. However, he has shown improvement in getting the offense running smoother. And it's also a rebuilding team, so I think we can cut him some slack for obviously not being in the upper echelon of team efficiency. I really hope he figures out some fun lineups with Josh Christopher, our other draftee in 2021, who unfortunately and criminally doesn't get the same amount of hype as Jalen or Alp, who I think has all the makings of our future X Factor, or basically becoming indispensable as our sixth man. He was often called to guard the opposing team's best player whenever Jashawn Tate wasn't on the floor. He can be an awesome catalyst for the Rockets already off the bench. Hey, do you guys remember when he went perfect from the field and scored 18 efficient-ass points against the Nets? Crazy that it was actually his birthday too. What a cool coincidence. Alright, I want you to close your eyes and picture a lockdown eat-your-ass lineup with Josh Christopher at point, Eric Gordon at shooting guard for both spacing, and he's also an underrated defender. Tate at small forward, Jabari at power forward, and Alp at center. Sheesh! Sengun shows tremendous effort on defense, and I think that could be infectious. I think Jabari will find his footing relatively quickly when it comes to defending NBA bodies. I think it'll probably be around 10 games until we see him really start showing he belongs to be recognized as the best defender of this class. Especially since one of his main attributes and a common talking point is that he was the most NBA body ready. I wish I could say the same for Shet. Sheesh. Then, for insane offense, you'd have to sacrifice defense a lot. I mean a lot. I mean a fuck ton. But picture the defensive nightmare it would be guarding Jalen and KPJ at the backcourt, Tari at the third spot, Jabari since I think he'll be an effective sniper with this lineup, and then, to top it all off, we got Boban Marjanovic. Just kidding. Alp orchestrating the offense in the front court, obviously. Not to mention, we also have Ty Washington, who looks like he might be a steal from the draft. An absolute theft. Criminal what we got away with this draft. Also, we got Gary Bird, who I think if any of our guards get hurt, he can be a really easy plug-in. Dude, it seems like before he signed that contract, he was shooting the fucking lights out of the gym. But then afterwards, he became pretty streaky. Oh well, that's okay. Either way, the Houston Rockets are in for an exciting season no matter what. We can see the huge leaps I'm sure Jalen is about to take this year. Have you seen the photos this offseason that he's been bulking up a little? And I actually think KPJ is going to make being the future point guard of our team work. He has crazy offensive flashes, and dude proved he was clutch several times last season. And with the help we'll get defensively, I think he'll start showing that he can facilitate even more while still being effective scoring-wise. Alp is getting sharper and quicker as well as working on his conditioning, which I remember being an issue as to why he didn't get plugged in for so many minutes. So I think we'll see an even scarier Turkish monster now that he has a year under his belt. We'll get to watch the evolution of our rookies this year, and get to watch Reddit shit on, then love on, then shit on players who go through the obvious ups and downs of a long-ass basketball season. I'll try to upload frequently. As of right now, this is gonna be more of a creative outlet, but hopefully this gains a small following and I can keep a few people entertained. Thank you for listening.